want you to share with the viewers a little bit more about your story and how you got into dentistry.
Well, my path to dental school is probably a little different than most of my classmates at the time. To say the least, I probably wasn't the most dedicated student in college. I was more into having fun and gaining experiences and learning new cultures than I was hitting the books, but kind of pulled it together my first senior year. It took me 2 senior years to get out, but at that point I realized I wanted to go into dental school, and I kind of buckled down and got decent grades. Raised my average a little bit, but probably not enough to get into top dental schools. And so I spent the summer really studying hard for the dental entrance exam called the dental aptitude test. And after 3 or 4 months of preparing for that, I did pretty well on it. I actually got the 2nd highest score in the country for that particular test. So I thought, okay, I have a decent chance of getting into dental school at this point. And I applied to a couple, what I thought, probably impolite to say, I thought sure things. So I applied to a few of the schools that I felt pretty comfortable I'd get into. And then I applied to 2 long shots, which I thought, if I get in, great. If I don't, no big deal. And of the sure things, I got into most of them. And of the long shots, I heard back from one. One just flat out rejected me, but again, I wasn't upset. And the one that accepted me was on the wait list. And the wait list is for people, when they send out their acceptance letters, they usually accept about 100 people per class. And if any of those 100 people decline to attend to that school, they'll start pulling people off the wait list. And I was number 23 on that wait list. And they sent me a letter saying that in past years they've accepted people as low as number 5 and as high as number 120 or something like that. So I thought my chances were pretty good to get into dental school that year. And the summer went by, and I was calling the dental school weekly to find out where they were on the wait list. And at the beginning of the summer, turns out that they weren't taking anyone off the wait list. In the middle of the summer, they were working up a little bit higher. And towards the end of the summer, about a week before we were supposed to start dental school, they got up to number 22. And I thought, I'm done. I'm starting to pack my stuff and getting ready to drive to LA to go to UCLA Dental School. And then about a day before we were supposed to start school, I called and they said, you know, we're stuck at 22. It's not your year this year. And I thought, oh, it's so close. Oh, well, I'll try again next year. And I went and met with the Dean of Admissions. He gave me some ideas on how to improve my resume. I proceeded to ignore all those, and I moved to Colorado and just skied for a year. Just figured I'd have fun and ski. And then I reapplied the next year because the Dean of Admissions told me that the worst thing that would happen is I'd be back on the wait list. And so the next year rolled around, and I reapplied to one of the dental schools that I had gotten into the prior year, just in case. If I didn't get into UCLA, I could go there. And I was on the wait list again, but this time number 9. So I thought, I'm shoo-in. Same process though. Through the summer, they didn't move. A week before school started, they were on number 8. And a day before school started, they were on number 8. And I called in the morning, and then the phone rang in the afternoon. And they said, are you sitting down? I said, yeah. And they said, well, we want to let you know that you've been accepted. And my family rejoiced, and we had a big party.
That's pretty cool.
So I quickly had to pack because we were starting orientation the following day. And I was living in Northern California at the time, so I threw a bunch of stuff in my parents' SUV. And as I was driving down the driveway to drive to dental school, my mom leaned in and kissed me on the cheek and said, now just because you were accepted as the last one in the class doesn't mean you have to finish last. And I said, wait, what, they rank you? Because I had no idea. And she said, yeah, there's probably class rankings, so, you know, just do your best and just try not to finish last. So I had a 6-hour drive to think about that, and turns out that after 4 years, I finished number 1. And so I went from not getting in to getting accepted as the last student to graduating number 1.
That is an awesome story.
It was a pretty fun journey.
Wow, and how impactful your mother's words were. And you were persistent all those years, and you know, and on the track, and just thought it was just falling into place for you, but really your mom saying that last little bit just kind of put you over the edge on top.
Otherwise I would have showed up and just kind of cruised through dental school.
Possibly just an average dentist and not one of the best of the best.
I really applied myself.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. That is super important.
Pleasure.